to catch up, and we are here. We have our race underway, in progress. We have some divergence already, but most people have headed to Kakariko Village. We could also get to introduce our runners here as well. In the top left corner we have Gem. In the top right we have Pink Kitty Rose. In the bottom left we have Lunchtime, and in the bottom right we have Killer App 23. So we still have some technical difficulties right now, but they are slowly being addressed. In the meantime, look at this. We have rods being found. We have gloves being found. Pikachu Rose found a sword in the Lost Woods as well.
And we have the ice rod for Gem, it seems like.
Yeah, Pikachu Rose just picking up the Quake Medallion. That was in Lost Woods as well, so Lost Woods paying off with 2 major items already. And we have race games, so I missed that check, but obviously it was important, otherwise our runners would not have gone for this. So how big an item is it? It's the Moon Pearl. It's kind of obligatory, that one. You will not be able to progress in the Dark World without the Moon Pearl. Oh, we have Gem has a hook shot as well, so we have been able to find some significant items. Pink Kitty Rose also finding the red meringue. Some of our other commentators call that the inferior boomerang, and I beg to differ, but that's just a personal opinion. So right now we have both Killer App and Lunchtime checking out what's in the back of the escape. Nothing there really, apart from 3 bombs. Small key as well, so they can venture into other parts of the escape sequence, but both have save and quit, and they're going to go to other places.
Meanwhile, Gem got the Titan Smiths inside of the dam, and we got some wet boots.
Yeah, those boots are kind of soggy. They've been left out in the rain, water collected, and they're probably better with treading water than the flippers are at this point. We also found that hook shot. Pink Kitty Rose found it at the back of either the Blind's house or the well. It was definitely Kakariko, so very nice finding the hook shot early on. We have a back of Sahasrarul's hut check, and that's the Bomb Boss medallion for Killer App. Fire Rod and Ice Rod for him. Gem's continuing round the lake, and he's headed over to Ice Rod Cave. With the Moon Pearl as well, be pretty easy to set up a walk-on-water glitch from this point, so this is decent for any routing in this area. Yeah, and there we go. Oh, almost. Now he's got to be very careful, actually. With only 1 heart, all these sand crabs outside, they hit for 2 hearts of damage, so any mistake here will cost him his life.
And you saw Gem dashing over the side of the... Yeah, here it is. He dashed over the side of the little bridge part of Ice Rod Cave, which activated the water walk state. So he can walk over the water right now to get to Zora's domain.
Yep, that's right. So long as you jump from any downward-facing cliff, you immediately start walking on water in this glitch state. You're able to come into this area, the waterfall of Wishing, and that's a half magic find, which is pretty good. seeing as some players have found the fire rod as well as the ice rod, it's really big news. Ammo consumption for those, the magic. Yeah, having half magic is always useful. We also get to see what King Zora has, and it's just a bundle of sticks.
A bunch of sticks.
Yeah,
Oh,
biggest
sorry.
scam in Hyrule.
Well, I think if you get a green rupee, that would be worse.
Yeah. At least the arrows have some sort of value when you find the bow. Yeah. It's always a shame. Zora has... It's like, yeah, here, thanks for the 500. You can have this. I found it down the back of the couch. And, let's see, Pink Kitty Rose go to pay a visit to Uncle. We'll see how this pays off. And it's, 20 rupees. That's, yeah. Not much love for Uncle today. He's just giving us some pocket money. But there's where the fire rod is. In the chest next to him. So fire rod, ice rod, and sword. That's definitely a lot of offensive weapons that we found. Most of our runners are covering the same sort of checks at the moment. We've had a Bonk Rocks check, we've had a King's Grave check, we're getting a Village of Outcast check from lunchtime. Here comes our first map check. Red crystals at Palace of Darkness and Misery Mire, pendants at Turtle Rock, Skull Woods, and Green Pendant Thieves Town. So, definitely our runners will be happy to see, or probably happy to see, Pendant Turtle Rock. If you don't have to go in there at all, that obviously makes you happy, but Skull Woods also out of the way. Thieves Town is green, though. That's always a little upsetting, because Thieves Town has some of the most value from early access to the Dark World. Pink Kitty Rose is opting to go through the escape sequence and finds a blue bottle. A bottle full of blue goo in the dark. So just heading down now to rescue Zelda, who's already rescued herself. Gem, having navigated the mountain without the use of the lamp, has now decided to climb up inside Spectacle Rock and finds the third Bitcoin, the Ether Medallion. So it doesn't actually matter what the clue is for Mire or Turtle Rock. We have all three medallions, and we just picked up a hint there inside the Spectacle Rock cave. New to version 30, there are some hints in place so that if you have lots of items which are out of the way, it will occasionally give you a hint to what is located there. Last time taking a death there in Thieves Town. Decided to opt out of that and have a quick look around the rest of the Village of Outcast. Gem has found the lamp inside Paradox Cave. Now that's an interesting one. It indicates that the flute is found somewhere outside the mountain, and you were meant to use the flute to get access to the mountain. So the flute is going to be here somewhere at some point. Also picking up silver arrows and the Master Sword. Definitely a lot of value coming out of Paradox Cave there.
And one thing to keep in mind that Gem, even though he has logical access to Death Mountain, according to his tracker, it is still a sequence break.
That is correct. The seed does expect you to have the flute to get access to the mountain. So although the tracker will have logical access because of the lamp was found on top of the mountain. So this is still technically all out of logic until the flute is found. We did have a lumberjack check, and I did miss that, unfortunately. So, chat said this could be the arrow of destiny, the single arrow, which would be very interesting. I don't think many people will kill Aghanim just to get that one, though. Oh. We have a red cane at the Hype Cave, a couple of bombs, and a lot of bombs, actually. And, Grandpa, the old man, he had the boomerang, so Big Kitty Rose has now got the choice of both boomerangs.
And we have Death Mountain, we have the TR check, it's Bombos. We got Hookshot Cave right here, and maybe do Spike Cave afterwards, but I don't know, that's not possible.
Not currently. The cave requires you to have the hammer, which nobody's found yet, but also it expects you to have either a large amount of health, a potion, or the blue cane or the cape, and we don't have any of those right now. Pink Kitty Rose is the first bottle which was found in Escape, and that has a blue potion, but only 4 heart containers. There are actually very few heart containers on the map. Most that our players have is 6 at the moment. No armor upgrades either.
And Pink Kitty Rose is on her way towards getting her lamp, and Killer Rap is about to pick up the silver arrows.
Yeah, all of our runners have now sequence broke through the entrance to Death Mountain, and they're all making their way over to Death Mountain East just because of the variety and just the number of items that you can find over there. 7 in Paradox Cave, with Dark World access, 2 in the Bunny Cave, 4 in the Hookshot Cave. You can check the Floating Island, you can do the Spiral Cave, and you can check what the medallion is to open Turtle Rock, so there is a lot of value to be had on Death Mountain for sure. In the meantime, Gem is checking out Skull Woods. It is a pendant dungeon, but coming in here for the items, just in case. Not finding anything just yet, but it is early days. Well, there's the first item, 20 rupees. There are only 2 major items in there. That was the first one. And there's only 3 bombs on the floating island, so there are a couple of nice things that can be found on Death Mountain. The silver arrows of the Master Sword upgrade, but not so much anything else, really. Oh, the lamp, of course. Gem taking a little death warp there to get out the back of Skull Woods, and he's probably going to continue exploring at this point. I don't see what he picked up. Nope, no big key and no fire rod, so he can't actually get to the back of Skullwoods at this point, so he's just going to leave and head somewhere else. So that's going to be a check at the Bumper Cave. We'll see whether that cape is required. Not for 20 rupees, that's not worth. We see Pink Getty Rose actually entering Agadin's tower.
Did she not check the dam?
I don't honestly know. She does not have Dark World access with the items that she has, no one having found the hammer. So she is taking the logical leap here that there is no Dark World access, and she's heading straight up the tower.
Well, she knows she's in a sequence break with the lamp being on Death Mountain, though.
Yeah. Nobody has found the flute either, which is interesting to note. So at this point, there is also a tile, telepathic tile, halfway up the tower. So it'll be interesting to see whether she's going for that check as well on the way up. But I do think this is... we're going to see an Aghanim 1 fight.
And Serious Business in chat pointing out the kicker. It could possibly be... wait. I might be wrong by saying this. I'm not fully sure on it, but from what I think is it might be possible for East Dark World doing Aghanim 1.
Yep, that is possible. She also picks up the hint just then on the way up through the tower. A major item is locked behind fire in Tower of Hera. So there is some item in the basement of Tower of Hera. That is a big hint. So we may find something in there. It could in fact be the hammer. I'll say hi to Zelda, and then quickly say bye to Zelda as well, as she's teleported in front of our eyes. Bye, Zelda. Gem just completing up the digging game, and he's now going to check in with Stumpy, the little boy who wanted to be a tree. And 20 rupees from him. We're seeing an Uncle check from lunchtime. So disappointment from Uncle, and then a fire rod in the chest next to him. Meanwhile, Killer App, who already has the fire rod, is navigating through Skull Woods. And already Chatter baying for the pedestal check. I mean, it's early days yet. We do have Fire Rod, Ice Rod, Red Cave. We need to find other items first, but yeah, okay. It's a weekend, we'll give it to you, you know? We'll think about that pedestal later on. Pink Kitty Rose making short work of Aga 1. And we'll see what's on top of this pyramid, because this could still be the route which was required. As most of our runners have sequence broke to find the lamp. That's another bottle on top of the pyramid.
And PKR is not going to say no to it, as it's not the first bottle, but still, it's a bottle with blue goo. You don't have to pay for it. It's really nice to snatch it up real quick.
Yep, free blue potion, you don't want to turn that down. Already getting the check for catfish out the way nice and early so you don't forget about it. You have a fight down in the basement of the castle here in Zelda's chest, and Lunchtime finally taking out that ball and chain guard. Likely to take a death warp hit. Killer up in Mothula fight. Interesting. Well, there's everyone's least favourite moth down, all for a compass, but red pendant. You have a red pendant as well. First completed dungeon of the 4 who are on stream. Meanwhile, Pink Kitty Rose getting a piece of heart, a little bit of love from Catfish. And there's the hammer! The hammer is at the chest at the back of Skull Woods.
That is really big, which means that Pink Kitty Rose did Aghanim for nothing.
Unless she wants to go back for that single arrow at Lumberjack, that may be the case. Killer App hasn't found the hookshot just yet, but with these items, if he finds the hookshot very quickly, then he is going to have a lot of maneuverability. It's going to be very nice for taking on the rest of the seed. Oh, meanwhile, Lunchtime has found the book and he's going into desert. I did not see that book.
I missed that hint tile that Pink Kitty Rose just accessed.
Oh, wow. I was looking at the wrong window, yes. So there is a hint tile in there by the shopping mall in, I believe it's called the Dev Cave. And there is a telepathic tile there, you can pick up a hint from there. I missed that as well, I must be honest. I was busy watching Lunchtime navigate his way through desert and finding the small key on the torch, but he's already got the boots, so no chance of a lockout for this. And the check there, the compass is in the big chest in Swamp Palace, so we know that we're not going to need that. Gem also finding a bottle in the dark in the escape sequence. And there's the last one. The 4th bottle we found is at the compass room in desert.
And Gem is going to find out what Sick Kid has for us.
Oh, more toothpicks. PKR headed over to Skullwoods, and I think Gem may be doing that as well, but I think he's going back for Thieves Town first. Lunchtime in the meanwhile, heading to the back of the Desert Palace. Going to be taking on Lambo. It's very interesting to see how everyone's strategy has played out. Many people have gone to the same locations at that point, but lots of different order. do have a telepathic tile up here, which Gem is about to check. And a unique item is in plain sight. I believe in plain sight is the one which is the racing game, and most people will know that hint already. That was the Moon Pearl which was found there, so that hint not so useful at this point. So Lunchtime is now taking on the fight against the Lamb Molars and using the fire rods. 2 already down, just 1 more to go, and then that will be a crystal. There it is. PKR also hot on the heels of Gem and Killer App, headed through Village of Outcasts, and will probably be checking in with Thieves Town very shortly.
Well, I don't think I would want to check into Thieves Town. I don't think it would be a nice hotel to be at.
Oh no. Terrible reviews. Constantly in the dark. Enemies everywhere trying to eat you. It would not be a nice stay. And that's besides all the pickpockets in that area.
We find the mirror in Thieves Town Big Chest. That's really big.
Along with the flute, the mirror is one of the biggest items for utility and maneuverability across Hyrule, so very big find. It was in the big chest as well. And Gem has opted to skip it so far. He has a key in hand. He does not have the hammer. And that's why he won't be able to check the chest. That's actually huge. Everyone going through Thieves Town right now cannot access the mirror until they go to Skull Woods. It's a very nice kill from Gem though. And picks up plastic shield. Killer with almost similar fight as well. It's almost like it's scripted. There we go. We get a green pendant for both of them. Killer having that advantage already, having the hammer, now has the mirror in hand as well. Only person to have that right now. With Gem has the fire rod now, so headed back to Skull Woods, and he will soon find out where that hammer is as well, and he'll be hot on the heels. Meanwhile, PKR and Lunchtime are now both in Thieves Town, and neither of those have the hammer either. So we're going to have a lot of people dip back over to Skull Woods at some point during their run. While it's interesting to note that a lot of our runners have a lot of significant items, a lot of them, they don't have that much in the way of health. The biggest heart container, is 6. Across 3 runners, the highest heart container count has been 6. No armor upgrades. Gem and Killer found their first shield by killing Blind. We haven't seen that much in the way of swords either. There are 2 swords available. All of our runners have collected, and before headed towards the late game, this is still very dangerous. A lot of the enemies later on towards Ice Palace, Misery Bar, Turtle Rock, top of Death Mountain in the Dark World, a lot of those enemies will deal significant amounts of damage, so only 1 or 2 hits and down you go.
One would also wonder, now that Gem has the hammer, and he has finished Thieves Town sadly, but when would he come back for the mirror?
Yeah, this is the choice that everyone is going to have to make at some point. When are you going to go back for that chest, or do you think it's worth going back for that chest? Obviously, we know that it's required because Swamp Palace has a crystal in it, so you've got to get that mirror at some point, but the question is inevitably going to be when. Is it going to be sooner rather than later? Gem's headed over to Tower of Hera, and we know that there is some significant item in the basement. We don't know what it is. He also gets told there are some arrows in the Mimic Cave. So that's good news. You don't necessarily need to check Mimic Cave. If you find for arrows, you don't have to visit that area of Turtle Rock. And we had a question in chat, where was In Plain Sight? I believe In Plain Sight is the running game, but it could be other places as well. Suggested for Desert Ledge, Library, Zora's Ledge, islands in the middle of Lake Hylia, the floating island. The reason why I thought it was the running game is because this game likes to be a troll, and we already know that hint. We found the Moon Pearl there, and that would be considered out of the way because you do have to do a mini game to get that item. So Gem is now taking on Moldorm, and pretty quick kill. No trolls today from Moldorm. And there's our first armor upgrade. With a key in hand, though, is he going to check the basement? Killer Rap in the meantime has picked up his red cane from the Hype Cave, is now taking the purple chest to its destination. And we're going to get a Bombos tablet check at the same time. And the tablet says... that's a bit of love. And another one of the hint tiles there for PKR. The boots are underwater. And thanks game, we kind of already knew that. But at least you're trying. And Gem is now heading into Turtle Rock, having opened it up. We do have Hammer, Master Sword, both of the rods and the red cane, and the hook shot, so definitely enough to take this on. The only concern is their health, really. Even with blue armor, this can be a treacherous dungeon. And picking up another hint that Ether is in plain sight, as all four of our runners on the stream have that. Again, the game is trying its best. Killer App are now heading into Desert and checking another one. The compass is in the big chest Swamp Palace. Yep, yes it is. And a purple chest coming over from lunchtime as well, and he's going to be handing in for that piece of art. Gem has found 2 small keys and a map in Turtle Rock, so no big key just yet. Oh, Pink Hazy Rose did not find the boots, so that hit was actually useful for her. And found the boots now. But all the enemies in this area are going to be slightly harder because Aga 1 is dead. Actually go to check in with Aginar. Don't actually think we've seen this check yet, so this one's going to be interesting. Oh, what a letdown. Only 20 rupees. We just add it to the stash. You see now, lunchtime, he's setting up his walk on water from the Ice Rock Cave. That one seems nice, actually. So, again, all these sand crabs will deal damage, and damage can take you out of the glitch state sometimes. Also, they deal 2 hearts of damage each with green armor, so a couple of hits and you're going to be taking a death there. That's not good when you're trying to be searching out the Zora's Domain area. So going into the Waterfall of Wishing now. And then finds the half magic. No, that's correct. The hint tiles are not part of the logic. They just provide some hints for items which could be found out of the way. There are a couple of junk hints in there as well that can be found, so not all of them are useful. I believe that there are 15 of them, and then we have 2 of them for our tournaments at the Houlihan Room and in the inside of the pyramid. But the other ones, they're all useful. Little hints occasionally to help you find some of the items which are out of the way. So we now have Gem heading into the back of the Turtle Rock, and no spare keys, so can't skip Laser Bridge. That's going to be a dangerous one. No invincibility items, so no blue cane or cape. No mirror shield just yet, so this is going to be slightly dangerous. We will probably see the emergency exit taken, and after completing the bridge, a possible death to refill the hearts before taking on Trinex. Killer App now checking out Ajidar's cave. Hookshot cave for PKR. It's always the last one you check, isn't it? Gem actually being able to get all 4 chests without needing to take the emergency exit, actually without taking any damage either. Again, it shows just the sheer caliber of players that we have in these races. A lot of them are very experienced. And Gem shows that he can definitely pull these tricks off without sweating, without any sort of hint of stress at all. But he's going into the Trinex fight. He does have the hammer to help him in this one. If he so chooses, it would be slightly better than hitting with the Master Sword. Yeah, and there we go. 5 hits with a hammer. And he gets the first neck down. The fire is gone. And then a couple of hits onto ice. He's only got 2 hearts left though. Got to be very careful with his health right now. He's got a blue potion at his disposal should he need it. He's looking like he's trying to hold on to it as long as possible. This would be devastating if he died, so he takes the emergency blue potion. Because a death would take him back up to the room where the big chest is. And a couple of hammer hits and... oh, one more, there we go. That's a very decent Turtle Rock for... I believe that's the blue pendant. Meantime, we do have a lot of divergence. Lunchtime has gone back for the green pendant. Killer App is now scaling the Tower of Hera. Pinkety Rose is diving into Eastern. Now, none of our runners have found the bow, so this dungeon is still not completable until that is found. But we'll see what is in this place and whether it is actually worth coming here. This place has been open since the beginning of the game, so it is possible we could find something like the flute in here. And there it is! The opposite of Caster's Curse, it's just calling it outright. So, a unique item is in the Lost Woods.
Well, we already know that.
Yeah, I think both of them we knew. And, oh! That's a nice turn in. So Hasbrola was holding on to the actual water boots, not the boots we found under the water, the actual ones which help you swim. And they are required, as well as the mirror, you need the flippers for Swamp. You can't actually get away with trying any fake flipper glitches in that dungeon, you need the real thing, the genuine article. So the question now, Theotown done, Turtle Rock done, other one at Skull Woods, so potentially the pedestal could come in. And we have Pink Kitty Rose activating the duck. Raise your emotes, your ducks, your salutes, whatever it is you have. The goose is about to be loose. So Killer App, having killed Moldor, now has his blue armor and has a comfortable 7 hearts. Gem, having 8, having picked up that piece of heart in Turtle Rock, getting a full container, heads into Ice Palace. I didn't see an extra potion being obtained.
Oh.
The bow is in the basement. Before we had the hint saying it was a unique item, but now we have the one confirming it is the bow, which is in the basement of Hera. And I believe that neither player who has visited and killed Moldor at this point has found that item, so I will check on Killer App's screen to make sure that he has the bow. He does not. So no one has found the bow, and now we know that it is in Hera basement. Meanwhile, PKR is checking the Maya area. It's currently in Maya Shed. It doesn't really matter because all 4 of our runners have all of the medallions, but for interest's sake, it was Ether. That's vanilla.
And I think it's also nice to know bow is our go mode item.
So the interesting part now, who's gonna check that pedestal? Because only one person has got the confirmed hint of where the bow is. So are people gonna just blind check the pedestal at this point? Ooh, we could hope so. That would be a good troll.
Oh, and Gem failing the bomb jump, getting knocked too far.
Recovers afterwards, and he's only got half his health, but there is still opportunity to gain those hearts back. So he's definitely a confident runner, so Ice is going to be pretty straightforward from this point on, I would say.
I do really like the divergence we've got here. We've got 4 different areas of the game.
Yeah, lunchtime is now approaching Sahasrar's hut. He's going to cash in that green pendant to get his flippers. PKR exploring Maya, Gem exploring Ice. Killer App has just gone to Pyramid and now heading over to Palace of Darkness, which I don't think we've seen in this seed just yet. And Gem has found the big key for Ice, so the big chest is available. Still searching for items, just in case. Oh, Killer App using the mirror, cashing in the green, and getting his flippers whilst in the same area. And actually changing his mind, go for the save and quit at that point. Ignoring Palace of Darkness for the time being. PKR just about to do the slow part of Maya. We just opened the door, and there is a hint in the next room, so it's possible that's taken at the same time. Gem finds a heart container in the big chest of ice. Oh, and here's bold play. Killer App has ignored everything and gone straight to Swamp.
Well, that's an interesting choice.
Having found the mirror and the flippers, and he must be feeling pretty confident that no one else has found the mirror just yet. Ignoring everything else, having found the flippers, going straight to the one dungeon, which is required because of its crystal, and getting it out of the way as quickly as possible. So then the question begs, is he going to have a look at the left side of Swamp, or is he just going to go straight for the end and hopefully get rid of Argus as quickly as possible? Meanwhile, Gem has just finished off Cold Stare and has his second crystal. Lunchtime, hot on his heels, he is also navigating through the Ice Palace as we speak, and that is a shovel in the Stoop Salu chest. For Killer App, that is a shovel. Yay, we love fetch quests. Definitely what we want on a Friday afternoon. PK are doing the spooky strat in Misery Mire. Pulling that off nicely. Going to be facing against Vitreous very soon. Going to be a challenging fight. Green armor, no bow, only the Master Sword. A blue potion at the disposal. This could be a pretty dangerous fight. We'll see how this works. There goes the blue potion. There is a second. Taking out quite a few of the eyes. Half of them are gone. Taking damage from the environment, the floor, the top half of that screen damages you. But there we go. All the eyes are gone. Now it's just the big floaty eyeball itself, which is Vitreous. Meanwhile, Gem is taking his coffee break in Herod Basement. And that's an unfortunate death for PKR. Oh no. That is going to be leaving there and coming back later at some point. Sort of very unfortunate. It's very closely fought, and it's just unfortunate that sometimes the eye jumps on top of you. Gem has successfully lived through the tile room and is now going to take a small death, but still no mirror. But the bow is at his disposal. Killer App is headed through to the back of Swamp right now. Meantime, Lunchtime is approaching his bomb jump at Ice Palace. We'll see if he gets this first try. And it's clean. Ooh, we have a spike cave check here for Gem. And again, something we haven't seen just yet. He's got a cape and 1 heart of health. It's fortunate he has the half magic to help here. And he gets a penny. A penny for your thoughts, a penny for your troubles. And oh dear. The other fetch quest, we have the mushroom on Argus itself. So Killer has a couple of fetch quests here to think about. Still no guaranteed go mode. Does need the bow, which we now know is at Hera. Technically, oh no, definitely needs the flute as well, because Maya is a crystal, and it's the only access to that area is with the flute. So we do have no mode for the commentators. We do know where all these items are. It's just whether our runners can now piece together this puzzle and bring it to a satisfactory ending. PKR finding out about the bow. And Killer App is ignoring the tile and just goes straight on through. We now have 3 players in Ice, while Gem is taking on Eastern. Still missing the flute and the mirror. Yeah, people in the chat are already deciding Killer App has missed the hint, and he could get very lost at this point trying to find the bow. That lead, having getting the hammer and the mirror very early on, that could soon dissipate if other people find the bow ahead of him. And he goes on a wild goose chase. Remember, we do have the shovel and the mushroom, which were both found in Swamp. That could lead to a whole series of dead ends.
But we also have Tower of Hera, which is a crystal, so he will come by at least once there. So we might check it out.
Well, we do hope that he goes back there. I have a feeling that he's completed that part of the world, so I'm not sure. It'd be interesting. He has a tempered sword as well. He has a better sword than everyone else, having found a sword upgrade in the Swamp. So that could help accelerate things, especially in Ice, but who knows? If he doesn't find that bow in a decent time, his lead could suffer.
Right now, item-wise, Gem is in the lead as he is only missing the mirror. But since it's in Thieves Town Big Chest, I don't suspect he'll go there anytime soon.
Yeah, but we always thought that was probably going to be the stumbling block for most of our runners. So it's now a question, who's going to find which item first? Is the mirror going to be found in Thieves Town, or is the bow going to be found at the basement of Hera? Both of those places are incredibly out of the way. So we might have a wild goose chase for all of our runners at this point. Lunchtime is making his way over now, having completed Ice, and is going to be checking out what Death Mountain has in store. Gem, in his fight against Armos Knights, having silver arrows and a bow, very quick progress, and a full clear of the dungeon for him. And another crystal.
And we have one sad announcement to make. We have a forfeit in the race. John Eigner has forfeited from the race, sadly.
That is a shame. It's unfortunate, actually. We have a heart container on Ether Tablet, which Lunchtime has just picked off, and he is going into Tower of Hera right now. We'll see whether he picks up his bow as well while he's in this area. You don't want to double dip this place. And we have a flute for Gem, so, you know, salutes, emotes, ducks, whatever you have. PKR, finished with ice for the time being, is headed back to Palace of Darkness area. That seems to be where Gem is headed right now as well. Killer App still facing through ice. Lunchtime climbing the tower. The hint tile telling us our uncle has some pocket money for us. That's nice. Really helpful. So, two of our runners now headed into Palace of Darkness, and is the first chest going to be the small key, or is this place bow-locked? It's not bow-locked just yet, but it could be in the future. So, small key to continue right now. Both PKR and Gem will not have to go along the bow side of the dungeon just yet. Lunchtime, finishing off Moldorm, getting blue armor and the crystal. Killer App facing a guy's cold stare. Bombos used. Fire Rod coming out. With Temper Sword, this shouldn't be a quick fight. Shouldn't be a long fight even. Yes. Small key. Ooh. PKR going for the vanilla big key location. Both actually go for the vanilla big key location. And it has the map. But we have Lunchtime actually going for basement, so picking up the bow for him. Unique item is underwater. Could be a hint to the boots again, because one of the hints names the boots directly. But the other one just says which is underwater. That could be the things in Swap Palace, but equally could be the thing under the water in the dam.
And there's the bow for Lunchtime. So
yeah.
he is now also just 2 items away.
Yeah, no mirror at the time being, so taking the Death Warp to leave. Big key found for Gem, so he can go right to the back. But Temper Sword upgrade found by PKR at the Turtle chest. So a sword upgrade find there. At the same time, we have Lunchtime now having a look at the Spike Cave. Killer App doing the powder check. Let's say all say hi to Via, the magic bat. And 5 rupees, you get a blue pea for your troubles. PKR insisting on the full clear here and checking all the items. Gem happy having found the big key on the bow side, is happy just to leave all of that behind and go straight to the boss. Lunchtime is in that area as well, headed over to Eastern. PKR leaves, having not got the hammer. And heading over to the hobo, we've seen it a couple of times already. That's not where the hammer's going to be. The hammer is... Let me remember that it's in the Skull Woods. Heart container, Hamsaw King, and another crystal for Gem. He leads the way. At the moment, I believe. Oh no, he's drawn. Killer has the same number of crystals currently. But they've done different dungeons. Killer App's still not found the bow, so can't complete Eastern. But Gem, having not found the mirror, can't complete Swamp. So, at the moment, it's just an item in it, really. Gem has now gone back in to Palace of Darkness and is finding his Tempered Sword and all the other items in this side which he skipped before. PKR though is headed through to Skullwoods and will eventually find that hammer which is blocking the progress right now. There we go, PKR headed into the back of Skullwoods now. With a Tempered Sword, this should actually be a lot quicker than we have seen previously with the swords which were available at the top. And headed round to the chest first, so we will be seeing that hammer before the Mothula fight. Might even leave, because the Mothula fight is... there we go. We see. Yeah, that's the correct response, really, for finding that hammer. Rip. So leaving without the pendant, figuring that the pedestal is not worth it. So now just going over, and that looks like Tower of Hera is the way forward. Finding the hammer does give you access to Tower of Hera, even if you don't have the mirror.
So this will probably be the bow for Pink Kitty Rose.
Yeah, it's most likely, at this point, knowing where these significant items are, having picked up that hint tile, so the bow in Tower of Hera, you would think, having picked up the hammer, if you're committed to doing Tower of Hera for the crystal, you might as well stick around and get the bow at the same time. Here we see Gem opening up Maya, so Maya is on his mind, and it'd be a significantly easier fight than PKR had. That one, no invincibility items, no backups, only a couple of potions. Gem has the silver arrows, and you only need to hit each of the eyeballs with one of those, and then 2 for Vitreous himself. So that would be a pretty quick fight. There's probably no danger involved at all at this point. We see Killer App heading into Palace of Darkness as well at this point. Go to run into the same problems PKR had. No bow means no progression ultimately, because the big key for this dungeon is locked on the bow side. We have a flute check for lunchtime, and the duck has been summoned. following a similar path as Gem had, now headed into Palace of Darkness as well with the flute in hand. And we have a Moldorm fight for PKR, and let's see how well this one goes. And, ooh, steady. A little bit of a troll at the moment, not playing nice. And, oh, there we go. He goes down in the end, but tried to bump PKR once down the centre and twice off the side. You fall off the side, you fall down a floor, fall down the centre pit, that's 2. And that's a long climb back up to the top. But a decent fight in the end, and the crystal in hand. Gem, meanwhile, is now headed through to pick up, I believe the big key is round this side, actually. And once you've done that, you can go through to the back of Mire and that Vitreous fight, the crystal. Go to check the tile on the way, and there are bombs in the chest that require the specialist to unlock. Okay. I think most of our runners have done the purple chest check at this point, so that hint is probably useless. PKR is going into the basement and picking up the bow. Lunchtime has the bow already, so be able to get a couple of items from here, and then will kill the boss, the Helmasaur King. Killer Rapid, meanwhile, still without a bow, but still checking Eastern, just in case it's there. There's the big key for Gem. Bow for PKR. Doesn't want to be taking that Death Warp just yet. Too much health. So just leaving the manual way. Killer Rap is going to pick up his flute here. Another useless hint, unique item in the Lost Woods. We know, we've been there a few times at this point. Some people have been asking in the chat what happened to PKR and Myra. She unfortunately died during the fight against Vitreous and had to leave because he had no more blue potions and it was a long way back to the boss. So she'll have to visit again at some point. She now has silver arrows and the bow, as well as a better sword, so that fight is going to be less terrifying, just like it is for Gem right now with the silver arrows and the bow, making very short work of the small eyeballs, and then it's only 2 required. Vitreous itself, and that's Misery Mire clear. Just 2 more dungeons. Desert and Swamp. He needs to get the mirror, and the mirror is in the big chest of Thieves Town. You can't complete the seed without the mirror, because Swamp is required, so it's just a question of when will you think to pick up that item again. Without the flute and mirror, and without the book, doesn't actually have any access to desert right now either, so significant problem right now for Gem for progression. Killer Rat, meanwhile, is unleashing his duck. So probably headed over somewhere nice. Where are you going to? Misery Mire. Makes sense. Golden sword found, the butter knife. So again, makes it slightly easier than just trying to do it with the master sword. Also have the cape, so there is a small luxury of not having to take damage all the time while you try to set this one up. Just a reminder that Killer is just the bow away from go mode, while Gem is just the mirror away. For Killer, the bow is in the basement of Tower of Hera, and for Gem, the mirror is in the big chest in Thieves Town. Both those locations are out of the way, so none of our 4 runners on the stream combined has that knowledge of where both the bow and the mirror is. So we could be in for the long haul here. It could be a very long time before those locations are checked. Especially Killer App missing the hint that the bow named item was locked behind fire in Tower of Hera. That hint was at the front of Ice Palace. And we see a Skullwoods pendant kill right now, so 3 pendants in hand for Gem. I think you all know what that means, chat.
Well, he doesn't have the mirror to immediately check it, though. So he'll have to save and quit first.
It looks like that's what he's doing, and he has the flute to get back to Kakariko Village very promptly, so just taking the first one and getting the flute out, so what do you think it's going to be? Money, arrows, bombs, blue cane? Powder is not there, mushrooms not there, shovels not there, book's not there, obviously. We haven't seen the swag net, so I'm going to put my money swag net on the pedestal. Well, there you go, chat. You got your pedestal. And Gem is rewarded with a little bit of love. Well, making things go triple boom could be fun as well, but I'm fairly sure he's probably upset now that there wasn't a full pedestal gaining item there, but oh. Well, he is headed back in the general direction. Oh, and we have a book reading for lunchtime of the pedestal, and he's not going to pick up that again. So we had a blind pull and we had a book reading club in front of the pedestal, so you got both today, chat.
And Gem running right past the objective he has to do.
Yeah, going over to the hammer pegs first. He may have actually forgotten at this point that Thieves Town is an option, but we'll have to see. You know, he's a very good runner, so he probably hasn't forgotten, but just going past Thieves Town and ignoring it, and here we go.
Now I'm just waiting for the rage slashes and all.
Yeah, waiting for the reaction as soon as he picks up the mirror from inside the big chest, and I think he's probably going to be upset that it was there and not on the pedestal. Meantime, we have PKR taking on Trinex in Turtle Rock, and that's a very quick kill actually on the rock neck, the land snake. Meantime, we have lunchtime and Killer Rap checking out Maya area and seeing if they can take that dungeon out of the equation. But we're getting close to Gem having his go mode, and let's just wait for the reaction. This should be good.
Nearly there. Absolutely no reaction.
No reaction.
Being as cool as a frog.
But we do have a go mode, 1:19 and a handful of seconds. Now fully able to complete desert and swamp. And then that will be the ascent up the tower to face Agatu and Ganon. We have our first go mode. Gem's a professional. Keeping it professional, says chat. Yeah. He knows what this is like. So finding the mirror, it'd probably make him not so happy that it was there all along. But no, keep your calm. Just play the seed and hope for the best. So we see Killer App now taking on Vitreous and no bow, so using the cape and the dash through technique. When I first saw this, I thought this was hilarious because I hadn't seen this particular mode of transport before. Just running through all the eyes. Very quick fight. And that is another crystal in hand.
And he's on the way to the last part.
Yeah, we have PKR taking on Skullwood's boss, Mothula, and taking Mothula out. 3 pendants in hand, no book, no mirror. But we may see another blind pedestal pull into disappointment.
One room away.
Another one of these sliding wall rooms, and very slow to activate. But at least the fight afterwards tends to go pretty quickly, especially with silver arrows. One shot and you're done. And yeah, as could be expected by Gem, the perfect one cycle on Lambo with the silver arrows. And here comes the pedestal check for PKR. And we might expect a reaction from her when this blind pull happens. We have Killer App going into Turtle Rock, and no reaction from PKR, just sadness. That's a piece of heart. Pedestal. Yeah. See, the problem with this seed is it's advertised itself so well that this was a pedestal seed all along, and then... surprise! It wasn't. Lunchtime with the silver arrows, a very quick fight against Vitreous. Gem heading into his final dungeon. Swamp Palace.
And this will also be the full dungeon clear, the full double dungeon row for Gem. And it seems like Killer App will also have full row, as will Pink Kitty Rose.
Yeah, I think all of our runners will have, apart from Lunchtime, who hasn't finished Mothula at Skullwoods, and has already checked the pedestal, so knows that there is no point in killing Mothula, having both items from Skullwoods, and the important one being the hammer. So no point ever visiting Skullwoods for that medallion. For that pendant. That pendant. I'm thinking of the Ocarina of Time rando, where everything is a stone or a medallion. It gets really confusing sometimes. Gem ignoring pretty much all of the chests and goes just straight to the back. You may see some chests picked up along the way, if they're just in the way, but no need to pick up anything. We are in go mode, so it is possible just to go straight on to the back. PKR picking up a crystal. Guessing the flute ready to go somewhere new. While we have Killer and Lunchtime both taking similar strats and entering Turtle Rock. So that was an Eastern Palace completion for PKR, and now headed into Palace of Darkness to complete that dungeon. Meanwhile, in Gem's corner, we see the fight against Argus is actually going incredibly fast. Incredibly fast indeed.
Just barely missed the 0 cycle.
Picks it up on the first bounce though, silver arrow to the eye, and down goes Argus and picks up the mushroom and the final crystal. At this point, heading up to Ganon's Tower, we like to play a little game in chat. We won't be doing it with the official bot, we don't do that for dailies, but you can still have a guess and play along. All you need to do is guess a number between 1 and 22 and type it in the chat. We are guessing where in the tower is that big key going to be. What is your guess for today going to be?
Normally I go with something like 11 or 7, but I'm seeing as this seed has been rough on the runners, I'm going to go with a nice 1.
Okay, we're going to have a nice 1. For me, as always, my guess is 12. It's kind of my thing. And it would place it in normal routing in the middle of the randomizer room, which is awesome. Because you don't get to see that room if you're playing any of the vanilla no major glitch categories, but if you're playing randomizer, who knows, there could be something useful in that room for you. Yeah, so people have been asking why Killer Rap hasn't found the bow yet. He deliberately, or accidentally, missed the hint. The big hint which spelled out the bow was in the Tower of Hera basement, was the first hint inside Ice Palace, and he didn't check that hint. We might be seeing a closer race if he did check that hint. He's now instead inside Turtle Rock and checking all of these chests instead. Even if he does find the bow immediately, he can't just use a portal set by the mirror and go outside Ganon's Tower. He still has to face Eastern Palace and Palace of Darkness, both inaccessible unless you have the bow, so he is still 2 dungeons behind our leader here. Speaking of leading, Gem leading into darkness, going down into the basement of Ganon's Tower. In 1, wrong size. In 2, piece of heart. And he's got the red cane and the capes, so he is going for the right side strategy here. Go to bypass the tile room and straight on through to the compass room. The road less travelled. Meanwhile, we have some explosions on the right-hand side of our screen. PKR taking out Helmsaw King. Killer App taking out the first two necks of Trinex. And that was a quick fight as well. Golden Sword makes short work of that boss. Chest 3, we have the Swagnet. Chest 4, the Mirror Shield. Chest 5, the Coward Mail. Chest 6, the Piece of Heart.
Sometimes that piece of heart can give you some peace of mind.
Yeah, especially if it gives you a heal for all of your heart containers. Every time you pick up that 4th piece of heart to get that full heal. Very nice. And we take the small key there from Bob's torch, so not only have we killed Bob, but that is also 7. Now heading through the left side of the dungeon. Bundle of sticks in 8. A blue pea in 9. More sticks in 10. And there's the big key. The big key. Oh, on either side. Yesterday it was 13. Today it's 11.
Well, I should have just doubled down on my guess. If I doubled down my 1, it would be an 11.
I'm a winner if it's 1 either side, right? Plus or minus 1. So congratulations if you picked that number, you get bragging rights.
The first person who put number 11 in the chat is JS Tame. I'm completely sorry if I butchered your name, but congratulations.
Lunch, the only one who hasn't checked the pedestal. Lunch actually did check the pedestal. He checked it with the book. Everyone else has blind pulled and got a piece of heart out of it. Everyone else was looking for the mirror. Killer App was looking for the bow. And unfortunately, we know where that is. We know where both of those are. The mirror is in the big key. Sorry, the big chest in Thieves Town. And the bow is in the basement of Tower of Hera.
And it seems like Killer App is just about to grab that bow up.
I don't think he spotted a hint, so he may be just coming to clear this knowing that there is an item left behind in a dungeon.
Just don't accidentally press Y right now, Killer App.
Oh, and another... Oh! No. Yes! Almost lost it and then kills the Landmo with a silver arrow anyway, so that's still a 1 cycle. Lambola's 2 fight there from Gem. Whilst we were discussing our other runners finding their respective go mode items, Gem made extremely short work of Gauntlet and then Lambola's 2 fight. That is a good point which has been made in chat. The hint system is new for version 30, so a couple of players aren't effectively using those hints just yet. But I'm sure that as time goes on, more people will be accustomed to checking those hint locations and saving themselves a lot of hassle in the long run. So the Killer App, now in go mode, 133, having found the bow. Meantime, we have Lunchtime headed back towards Village of Outcasts. We may see him dip into Thieves Town and find that mirror. That will be his go mode. PKR in the meantime taking on Ice Palace and just about to face against Cold Stare. Yep, we have Lunchtime headed back into Thieves Town, so that will be go mode once he opens that chest and gets his mirror. Meanwhile, we have Gem finishing his ascent of the tower. We're having a fight against Moldorm 2. Lining himself up, not attempting the hover. We'll leave those tricks for Andy. but confident in his item progression right now, not needing to check the final chest after Moldorm. Cruising on through Nightmare Room and on to our favourite wizard, the Geometry Wizard. A double on that hit. Just a few more. And there we go!
The triple-double, if I saw it correctly.
I did miss the first volley because I was looking at the chat. It was either a triple-double or a 1-2-3. So either way, a 3-round fight is very quick. Aga 2. PKR making her way over to the hammer pegs. Similar sort of line of thinking that Gem had. Possibly will dip back into Thieves Town, collect that mirror. We're already in phase 2 Ganon fight for Gem. Getting a very nice setup, able to use the spin slash to deal twice as many hits, get through that phase as quickly as possible. Already onto phase 3 now. With silver arrows, this fight will end relatively quickly.
Just a little bit to go.
Oh, missing the torches, but getting 2 silver arrows off. There's only 2 more hits, I believe, to be made. And there they are! And so we will have Gem as our first place finisher on the stream.
Now, let's see him walk through the door before calling official times. Gem has finished in, let's wait for it, 2nd place with a time of 1:36:36. Our first place finisher is Bond with a time of 1 hour, 20 minutes and 24 seconds. So quite a bit earlier, but we'll see if Gem wants to opt in for an interview.
Congratulations to Gem, though. Our first place finisher on the stream. He had the SRL time 1:36:36. And PKR has just found the mirror and venting some frustration there. I don't think you can bonk that big chest into the pit there. I think, oh dear. The mirror has been found. And with that, that should be go mode accomplished for her. Flute and Mirror gives access to Desert. Swamp is now available, and Misery Mire is also available.
And we have our 3rd place finisher as well. Ultima finished in 3rd place with a time of 1 hour, 37 minutes and 57 seconds.
So in the meantime, we do have 1 dungeon in it for the 2nd place. At the moment, we have Lunchtime taking on Swamp. We have Killer App closing in on Amos Knights at the end of Eastern. PKR still has 3 dungeons to complete. Dipping into Swamp right now, take that out of the equation. Still has Desert Palace and Misery Mire to go back to.
Hello, Gem. Congratulations on your 2nd place.
Thanks. It was
Yeah.
good.
Congratulations, first place finisher on the stream as well. How did you find that seed?
Well, if you do Anchor Road, you were pretty well off for the seed, and I guess that's what Bonta did with this crazy time.
Yeah, it just seemed unfortunate that a lot of people missed out where the hammer was early on, and obviously that must have led you on certain paths trying to find the mirror in the end. What was your reaction? First pulling the pedestal and finding that to be useless, and then finding the mirror in Thieves Town.
Well, I didn't really expect anything to be on pedestal, but after diving TR for nothing, I just figured I'd have to try. But I wasn't really surprised that it turned out to be nothing. As for TG Big Chest, I was really happy about that, because if it had been any of the other locations I hadn't checked, those being Smiths, Pyramid, and Catfish, then I would have been in big trouble because people probably would have checked those already ages ago. So I was really happy about that because I knew I wouldn't be that badly off finding mirror there.
We were wondering, because Killer App went and found the hammer, and that led to the mirror very early on, and he struggled to find the bow for the longest time, and he actually missed the hint. There was a hint at the front of Ice Palace saying the bow is locked behind fire in the Tower of Hera, and he skipped that hint and took a very long time finding the bow.
Ouch. But then I was so happy about that hint because yeah, you might have noticed that I skipped Terra Basement.
Yes, I think a lot of people who'd already been to Hera at that point had skipped the basement, and Killer was one of the few people who missed out on that hint and went back there a lot later. I don't think he actually checked out that hint in the end. I think he just went there blind and pulled it because it was an item remaining in a dungeon.
Yeah, I actually didn't even intend to skip it, which was the silly part. I just miscounted items. I think I thought the compass in like the first floor was bombs or something, and so I marked off an item and then thought I was done with Hera. And then when I saw the hint in Ice Palace, I just facepalmed and went there right back.
Well, it was a very well-played seed. It was a still exceptional time. Seeker's almost got led down the garden path, as it were, trying to find that final go mode item, but to come back with a really decent time, 1:36.36.
Yeah, early boots do that.
Is there anything else you would like to say about the seed?
Not really. Well, it had those obvious stupid things, but other than that, it was normal, I guess. I wish Turtle Rock had something, but I guess I wouldn't even have gone in there if I had found the bow in Hera, but it was stupid of me to forget about that. But yeah.
Well, do you have anything else to say, Demon's Druid? Is there anything else you want to ask?
Well, you summed the questions I had in my mind. Basically, you asked them already, so I have no further questions.
Well, I think that means we letting you up the hook now. Gem, have you had lunch yet, or are you just come straight into playing this?
Yeah, thanks.
Okay. Thanks again, Gem, and congratulations on the first place finish on our stream.
Thanks, dude, and yeah, see ya.
So in the meantime, as we were talking to Gem, Killer and Lunchtime have both headed up and are somewhere in Ganon's Tower right now. Killer has found the big key and is starting his climb and just about to head into the Gauntlet area. And Lunchtime is just about to pick up his big key as well. In the meantime, PKR having a fight against Vitreous yet again, this time coming out victorious. That is another crystal, and very quick access to Desert Palace will follow.
Meanwhile, we had two more finishers. We have AK Drist finishing in 4th place with a time of 1:41.03, and Lin finished in 5th place with a time of 1:41.18. Congratulations to both of them, and let's see who gets for the next place.
You have Killer App coming to the end of his gauntlet and getting through with 4 hearts. Lunchtime just about to start his gauntlet as well. Nice 2-cycle for Killer on Lamola's 2. Now heading up through the rest of the tower. Quick rooms 1 and 2 for lunchtime, and we'll see. It's yep, decent room 3. Moving through ice and the red Zazaks, and they sort of behave. The final room, what the heck even is this? That's what I call the room anyway. Ice everywhere, nasty enemies, BMOS likes to damage boost you away from where you're trying to hit. Lamola's having a little bit of unpredictability in their movements. The silver arrow is not connecting, but this that one should have hit. Outrage. And there we go. Fire Rod coming out to save the day. And that's end of that fight. Speaking of Lamolas though, PKR coming to the end of Desert Palace. That'll be the 7th crystal for her before she starts climbing Ganon's tower.
And we have only one tracker. No, yeah, one. Where not all of the dungeons are lit up. Excluding Pink Kitty Roses for right now, because she is still at the fight. And that being Lunchtime's tracker for not completing Skullwoods. And I mean, with that, if that shouldn't be an indication of how annoying this seed was, I don't know what else to say to let know in such a short period of time how bad this seed is.
Yeah, it has been exceedingly troublesome seed, leading a lot of people on a difficult road, trying to find out where that one item they require is. There's a decent fight from Killer App, taking down Aga too. Trying to overkill him here. He's going to be facing against Ganon. Lunchtime taking on Trolldorm 2, a very quick fight there as well. PKR just about to start her ascent to the top of the tower.
And there we have Killer App falling into the hole of Ganon.
This fight should be significantly easier than all the other runners featured on our stream. He does have the butter knife, so only 6 hits required instead of 12 on these opening phases. But he's going to have to watch out. Those fire bats are going to hit him for a lot of health if he stands in the way.
But he doesn't bat an eye, he has enough health.
Haha! Oh, and the jumps are being pretty nice in this phase 3, I have to notice, and wow, it's actually the best RNG possible. Just one jump and then he's done. Opting to skip on that torch just to get a really quick kill on Ganon, and just as Lunchtime enters the pyramid, Killer App has finished his run, and we'll be getting an official score for him in just a moment. Meanwhile, Lunchtime taking on his Ganon fight. Quick phase 1 and 2. Obviously phase 3 very quick as well. We know the jumping pattern, that doesn't change. That's same across all the seeds that are generated. And this should be a very quick finish as well. Just one more, and down goes the pig. More bacon for everyone. Lunchtime finishing as our 3rd place here on the stream.
And let's announce the times. We have finished in 6th place. We have Isn't Even My Final Form with a 1:45.42. Then we have 7th place being Killer App with a 1:49.37. 8th place goes to Lunchtime with a 1:50.45. And then we have 9th place being Mao with a time of 1:50.58. Hello and welcome, Killer App. Good race.
Hey, good. GG. Thank you.
Yep, GG. How did you feel about that?
I don't know. I guess it started off okay. Everything was going right until I found the flippers, I guess. Because I was searching for after I'd gotten the lamp up in Death Mountain. After I'd gotten like the trolley mirror and hammer and all that, all I needed was like the bow, the flippers, and the flute. And when I got the flippers, I was like, oh great, that opens up more possible flute locations. So I just figured on like going after the flute, checking everywhere that I could in logic for that, because I just figured Bo would probably be like in Turtle Rock or something. And of course, ended up skipping the chest it was in. The bow.
Yeah, we were talking about it as you were entering Ice Palace. We don't know if you missed that hint tile at the very start of the dungeon by accident. It actually confirmed the bow was locked behind fire in Tower of Hera.
Oh goodness! No, I didn't even pay attention the way
that was there. Just touched that tile, you would have known a long time ahead of most people that that would have been where your Gomo bow was.
Yeah. Okay.
We're just screaming for you. No, go back, go back. No.
Oh well, I'm still getting used to V30, so.
Yeah, but it's a very good pattern, and it seemed like you had a hold of the seed quite early on.
Yeah, as far as execution, I thought I played really well because they didn't give you much to start out with health-wise and safeties.
We've just been told Lunchtime won't be joining us for the post-race interview, but that GG's to him as well, finishing 3rd place on our stream.
I just want to plop this right in here real quick. Make sure to give these runners a follow. They're all pretty amazing runners. This seed was just excruciatingly hard on them.
yeah, if you'd like to just drop all of our runners a nice follow. And also, shout-outs to our amazing tracking team, who've been making sure that everything has been nice and up-to-date, and it makes us look good when we're able to actually know what we're talking about regarding items and places you've visited and things. So, again, huge shout-out to our runners and to our trackers. They make us look good, and without our runners as well, we just wouldn't be here. So, again, thank you, and GG for playing that seed. Here we see PKR just entering her Ganon fight.
Do you have any final thoughts about the seed killer app?
Just I think I routed really well for what I did. Just one couple missteps that that will be corrected for like the tourney races and stuff. So felt pretty good overall though.
Well, thank you for joining us for that post-race interview, and good luck with your future runs.
All right, thank you. See you guys later.
PKR now just coming to the end of her Ganon fight, and down goes the pig. A very brutal seed being put to rest, and still below 2 hours. That's exceptional time for a race of and a seed of this just monstrousness.
And Pink Kitty Rose walking through the gate, through the door, entering the Triforce room. Official SRL time of 1 hour 55 minutes and 58 seconds in 11th place, as 10th place sadly does not yet go to Pink Kitty Rose, but Raja has finished in 10th place with a time of 1:55.32. So congratulations to Pink Kitty Rose, and let's see if she wants to join us for an interview. Yeah, this seed truly was excruciating. Wow. And it does look like she is up for the interview, so let's plop her right in. Hello and GG, Pink Kitty Rose.
Oh boy, so how two things lead to the worst catastrophic spiral I've ever seen, and the worst tilt I've been on in a long time, actually, yes. Like an hour and 20 minutes of the purest tilt.
I think
why
that
did there have to be why did there have to be $50 in Link's house? I normally go straight to the dam. I would have gotten my glove, would have gotten my boots, would not done Aghanim. And I chose to skip one thing in the entire run, and it was the hammer!
Yeah, it seemed like you were finding no progress anywhere and getting extremely frustrated, being blocked by the seed every which way you turned.
Let's see, 3 dips into Skullwoods, 2 dips into Palace of Darkness, 2 dips into Eastern Palace, 2 dips into Ice Palace, 2 dips into Misery Mire because of a scrub and died of Vitreous. What else went wrong? Oh, everything, right. Oh, boy.
Yeah, we were just looking at the seed unfolding for everyone, and it was, oh dear. The bow in the basement, you had the mirror in Thieves Town, and we saw on stream your reaction to finding the mirror. Oh dear. And then 3 of our runners did a blind pedestal pull as well, and that didn't pay off either.
Oh, and let's not forget the one singular hint I got that could have been useful. Had a secondary, more precise hint in the way of everybody else.
And surprisingly, Killer App skipped that one and went round on a wild goose chase, trying to find the bow for the significantly longest time.
All I needed was for that one hit at Agnum's Tower to mean something. But no, the bow was in a fire locked by Hera. Thanks, Ice Palace. Oh, and 2 hints talking about the boats to slap me in the face about it a little bit more, just because. Somehow, despite the catastrophe that was literally every single aspect of this scene going wrong, it's still a sub 2. So basically, if you can't sub 2 yet, for heaven's sakes, practice! Ah! Oh, God.
Yeah, I don't think I have any more questions, do you? Yeah, I think that pretty much summed up the seed. It was terrible.
For me specifically. For a lot of people, it was fine. As long as you went into Thieves' Town with the hammer, you were good!
Ooh.
Yeah.
Number of people who did that on stream was 1. So I think everyone on stream had a really terrible time overall. It was not fun. It didn't seem fun.
I haven't had so much go wrong in a singular scene in so long. It's just like, there was nothing good. Everything went bad. I died to a boss that takes forever to get back to. I missed 2 things in the one spot I forgot to do and one spot I decided not to do, which led to an extra half hour of running about for no reason. Why is it every time I decide to go to the back of Thieves' Town without the hammer, there was always progression in the big chest? Like, I don't decide to do that very often, but in the last month, I am 2 for 3 on the progression being in that chest when making that decision. It's ridiculous. Like any other time, it's just a map or a peak 20 or something dumb. But when I actually decide to do it, of course it's progression. Why wouldn't it be? I told you there'd be salt. There's lots of it. It's all over the place. It's spilling off the table. It's gone across the table. It's all over the floor. It's down over the ledge. It's outside the front door.
Oh, I think you have like a missile to write and shove in VTup's inbox about how the seed should be corrected for the future.
If anybody hears about everybody like shriveling up, dying from dehydration, it's probably because salt has rained down upon this city to such a degree that everybody's going to have all the water sucked out of them. Okay, I'm done.
Okay. Well, thank you for the insight into how that was for you. I don't think anyone has any more questions.
You guys have fun. I'm getting out of here. I'm gonna go probably play another Seeds where it goes better.
Yeah, good luck with that. I hope it does go better.
It should. I mean, it couldn't possibly go any worse than that.
Oh, don't tempt VTup. He knows things.
No, this is like decision-based terrible. Just having a scene that's progression in awkward places, those are fine. This was me getting completely manhandled by making 2 choices. Very different thing. Oh,
Okay.
42 bucks. I wonder why. That could have been so high. Okay, the menu time though. But that scrolls up. It's just like, even despite all of that, I'm going. You guys have fun.
Okay, thank you very much, and GG again.
Bye.
See ya. Well, that was something.
I don't think we have anything more that we could possibly add to the end of this, I'll be honest. I think that was perfectly summed up.
Yeah. Oh.
There's menu time going fast as well, by the way. Less than 2.5 minutes in menus. That's, yeah.
And just in time, we're about to end it off, and the race just ended. Everyone finished or forfeited.
Yeah. Is there anything else you would like to add before we sign off?
As said earlier, PKR summed it up perfectly. This seed, just not doable. If you ever want to torture someone, give them this seed.
Yep, that seems like, yeah. So, thank you everyone for watching, and thank you to our runners for being able to show us the insights into the decision they made. It made a very entertaining stream. Thank you to our trackers, Red and Michael K. You make us look good. And thank you to my co-caster, Demon's Druid. Thank you for being with me and making sense of this mess.
Thank you for taking the lead and all. Really thank you for being here. And I'll see you around next time, I think.
Yeah, I look forward to that. And again, thank you for watching, and enjoy your weekend, and stay tuned to the Speed Gaming Network. Thank you very much. Good night.